again, running around before the show today. In fact, didn't even have a chance to. I have my shorts are wet from a hose. I had to clean the things in the back and get the kids from practices and drop them off. And I'm rolling around in the grass, and then I'm in here. No. Anyway, I want to start the show real quick, responding to a few things from yesterday's show because I talked about Diana Taurasi and her comments towards Caitlin Clark and some of the reaction that people had to that. And it was funny because Taurasi, I was searching for what she had said that rubbed me the wrong way too. And some people pointed it out in the comments yesterday regarding when she was asked who she would take, Paige Beckers or Caitlin Clark. And Taurasi said, Paige Beckers, next question, or something like that. Next question. Like really dismissive. And I remembered her saying something that felt like it was haterade. And that was it. So for those people who pointed that out, I'm with you. I did not like that at the time or thought it came across wrong at the time. Who cares? It's not the end of the world. But Taurasi also said that Caitlin Clark's fans or fans have been sensitive. And by golly, some of y'all fans out there have been sensitive. In some of the videos I posted, the half-court shot video, I clipped the section of the half-court shot from yesterday. And, I was watching that in real time on this show. I didn't understand why Kelsey Mitchell had a problem with Caitlin Clark's shot. Right? I'll show it to you again real quick here in case you didn't have the frame of reference. Here is the half-court shot itself. So I tried to use that to point out the camaraderie that her teammates seem to have with her, which is the case, right? Like it seems like they really like her, they really like each other, and it's a good sign for the Indiana Fever. That was the whole premise of the clip I put out there. But because at the time I didn't understand I said beef. I used the word beef, and people I guess were triggered by the word beef. I didn't mean beef in an actual like this is an issue sense. I meant it in the sense of, they were picking on her a little bit. They were having some fun, a little bit there. And basically, I didn't know if they had thought she had crossed half court or what the case was, or, if she had gotten momentum. It was correctly pointed out, and now that I've watched it again, that she was basically saying you got to start further back. That's a natural shot for you. It's a natural shot for you. But the people got angry about that slight, distinction in the comment section was hilarious to me because the entire thing is silly. The entire thing was jokes. So that's sometimes where you got to be sensitive because I've seen some of the Caitlin Clark fans come out of the woodwork and you attack on something like that or attack Diana Taurasi. And like I used the word WNBA legend to describe Diana Taurasi, and people were like, legend? Yeah, she's a legend. She's arguably the greatest women's basketball player of all time before. So, yeah, she's a legend. So, I just wanted to clarify those two things from yesterday before I moved on. One, I agree with those of you who pointed out Taurasi's initial comment and how she was dismissive of Clark and picking Paige Beckers, and that did add to the element of it seeming like she was hating on her a little bit. But Taurasi was also correct at the same time in pointing out some of the fans are a little sensitive. Like, relax a little bit. You don't have to go so crazy over little things. But to the point of that half-court shot and the camaraderie that you saw with her teammates, one of her teammates, Erica Wheeler, came out and spoke very highly and supportive of Caitlin Clark. And here is what Wheeler had to say about Clark that was making the rounds, I think, yesterday.
the first day of school, you don't know anybody, and you find that one person that says hi to you that become your best friend. For me, I just wanted to get ahead of it because I know this transition is tough. Just being undrafted and being a rookie, it's very unlikely that a vet, just take you in when you got the same position. And I think oftentimes people forget that I'm a great person before a basketball player. So for me as a big sister, I'm just like, I'm gonna take this first step first to just let her know, like, we here, we got you, whatever you need from me as your vet, and even you're in the same position, I got you. And she's just been doing a great job with just accepting it and receiving it from me. Because as you know, she's one of the biggest players in the world right now, and she don't act like that. She's just like, help me, in any way you can. It's definitely in a sweet way. It's no ego at all. She's not selfish. You can tell she want to be here and she wants everybody around. So just welcoming to me because she's a high caliber player, but her actions is not selfish at all. She wants to learn. She wants to be a family, and I'm like a big sister to her.
So I think you're about to see a really, really together team with the Indiana Fever. For all the outside noise that's come around Caitlin Clark, Clark clearly has the right head on her shoulders, right? We've all seen that already to go with her ability. And her teammates also seem to really get it. They seem to be embracing it. They seem to be embracing the experience together. Because as I mentioned on yesterday's show, as good as Clark is, she can't do it by herself. Look what happened when she ran up against South Carolina. But now she's got, real teammates. She's got Aaliyah Boston there. I mean, I see them. I thought that was cool. The pictures of the two of them, the videos of the two of them together, and the Fever's social media team is doing a great job putting this stuff out there where you have, the two of them in the photo shoot here, different angles, because that could be an all-time pairing, an all-time duo. Their games are so complementary to one another. It's perfect. Even in the training camp footage, it's perfect. You see why that would work so well because Clark has the ball up high, Boston's rolling, Clark's hitting her, Boston's finishing it. That's it, right? That's as good as it gets. That's as good as it gets. So that's a combination that I think people are going to want to see unless you're an opposing WNBA team. That's an imposing image if you're an opposing WNBA team. For sure. Get to a few comments. Ernesto is on YouTube now. He's usually commenting on Facebook. He says, what's up, Robin? It's good evening to you. Glad to catch you live. Josh B. the Prez says, love to hear this. Evening, Robin. As Rohan is, my youngest son, is walking in the middle of the show. Could someone please get Rohan? And he's getting some toys from the closet over there. Pardon any noise. I should have locked the door, but then he just would have yelled on the outside, Mom, spaghetti! Can somebody get Rohan, please? Anyhow, as far as Daddy, yeah. Okay, you want to say hello real quick, and then you got to go. Come on, come here. You either got to say hello real quick and go, or I'm gonna have to. I'm doing a live show right now. This is not supposed to happen. So this is Big Ro. Say hey, Big Ro.
Hi.
Hi. All right, now goodbye, Big Ro. All right. And he's out of here. Sorry about that quick interruption to the show. Good evening to you, Josh B. the Prez, who had also said, love to hear this. Now, there was one aspect of this I also wanted to get to. Josh B. the Prez says, love the kids, handsome young man. He is. Big Ro is a handsome young man. Kevin Zwicker is not going to like the fact that Big Ro is really feeling euphoria, by the way. Kevin Zwicker says, do you think the WNBA has overtaken baseball's popularity already? Popularity is questionable. Hype, for sure. I got everybody in here today. Look, Butters broke in to the stream as well. Sorry, that should be the last. I'm not clipping this part of the show. Butters broke into the stream as well. It's pure chaos. I don't know why they're down in the basement right now. Anyhow, do I think the WNBA has overtaken baseball's popularity? No. I think it's overtaken the hype. There is far more hype around the WNBA season than anything that has happened in the baseball season. But because baseball is such an institution, because it's been around so long, because it's such a part of people's lives, and you've got the regional aspect of it where local sports talk radio is covering it, and there's so many games in a local market. I don't think you can say that the WNBA has overtaken its popularity yet. That's a little premature. Hype? Absolutely. Hype? Absolutely. DS Sai Sahande says, you think it's more popular than the NBA because you are covering it? No, it's not more popular. It's hotter. Caitlin Clark is the hottest thing in sports right now. She's the hottest thing in sports right now. This did not happen on purpose, the way that I've outlined and conducted this show, right? Like, it did not happen on purpose. This was a series of events, right? Like, let me tell you the story real quick. So I go back to, this is when I was at SI. My old boss, Matt Gothard, shouts to him, Casino King. You can follow him on various social platforms. He's a professional gambling influencer, I guess you would say. But he had told me at the time, you got to cover Caitlin Clark, right? Like, you got to cover her. And I did, and it did really well. And then the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark thing happened, and that exploded, right? And then it's put on the shelf and whatnot. Comes back around this year, and I see she's got the hype again, and people are into it. And then I see the numbers and all that, and I'm like, wow, this is something. It wasn't until it became part of the zeitgeist, it became part of what people were discussing, that I started talking about it on this show, because it was a real hot topic. And then I saw, that's interesting, a lot of people watched that show. And then I did it again. A lot of people watched that show. Then I did it again. And a lot of people watched that show. And so on and so forth. And then I started clipping out sections of it and posting them as separate videos. And a lot of people watched those videos. More so than any of the other. Like, my shorts do really well on every topic. But even to this day, the biggest short I've ever done individually is on Caitlin Clark. I believe the biggest one that I've done, from a Robin Lundberg page, was on Caitlin Clark. All my shorts do well on all the WWE rap and basketball. But, you guys have heard me talk about all these topics on the show. Caitlin Clark is the one that delivers every single time. And it also, like, it just, then I started to get really interested as like a phenomenon, as I've said, I've never really described myself as a journalist, though I have a journalism degree and I have a long background in media. So it became very interesting to me. And I'm thinking, I believe what I was saying about her being the Michael Jordan of the sport, this generational figure and impact that's changing the landscape of things. And you see it in the ratings. And you see it in the numbers and the returns. And that's why she's getting the attention, nothing else, right? And then part of it is, so I started doing it, and it keeps working for me. And I'm trying to make a name for myself. I'm trying to make a platform for myself here. I'm not going to lie to y'all. And that's been what's cutting through. Maybe it's also because there's not as much of a niche for it yet. Like, not as many people saying what I've been saying or covering it the way I've been covering it, specifically because they're so used to, they're so used to covering the NBA. But she gets the attention, man. What do you want me to tell you? And it's interesting. It's because there's so many different aspects to it. There's the gender. There's the fact that it's new and exciting. There's the racial connotations that have come up and the layers of that. There's the past history and the WNBA legends. There's the league itself trying to grow and get a new TV deal. I mean, so many different layers. And you're going to see her get a lot of attention and a lot of strange things. Like, look at this, for instance. Doug Gottlieb sent out this tweet saying the amount of work it takes to be consistent through her mechanical flaw is really impressive. If you were advising her, would you fix it in the offseason? And he tagged someone called Hoop Consultants, former video scout for Kobe Bryant. I'm not saying that they're not a reputable person or teacher, but it is just hilarious to me that anyone would suggest that Caitlin Clark fix her jump shot. There's a saying, if it ain't broke. And, I don't know Doug. I don't know if he's stirring things up, if he's trying to get attention. And again, you could say, I wouldn't say I'm trying to get attention because I'm not selling out. I'm not, putting on a silly show. I'm just giving you my honest thoughts. I've just noticed the attention that she brings in, and I'm covering it very honestly, I believe. And that's what I'm really trying to do, is cover it very honestly. But you're going to see a lot of nutty takes and a lot of craziness all around, whether it's the comment section or on television or people telling her to fix her jump shot when she's got the best jump shot in the history of the women's game, at least from deep. At least from deep. Michael Martin says, at this juncture, I'm not even sure there's a May about it. Taurasi is the GOAT. Yeah, I mean, that's what you got to give respect to Diana Taurasi. And then he adds, we anticipate the ultimate ascension of Clark. Ernesto says, shorter seasons, WNBA wins. Goodness rated Bo says, is it because she came back even better after the loss to LSU? I mean, I think you just see it in her game. I think you just see it in her game. It's exciting. It's inherently exciting, the style she plays with. And no disrespect to the ladies of the past or even the ladies of the present. And I think you're going to see this going forward, right? Like, I think it was Flau'jae Johnson today had some nice comments about how Caitlin Clark is going to help uplift the women's game. You're seeing that. You're seeing that recognition for sure. Most people are not.
It's good for the game. Like, Caitlin Clark, say what you want. She's a star. Like,
that girl can shoot.
She can shoot that thing, and she got the green light. And I think, America kind of has gravitated to her, and it's only just pulling the women up more and more and more. So I love it. Like,
she was drafted first, right?
Yeah.
First. Yeah. She went to Indianapolis.
Indiana.
Indiana.
Oh, Indiana.
Is it Fever? Indiana
Fever. Yep. Yeah. So Caitlin, she just putting on, like, and it's just beautiful to see for me because I'm like right in the middle of it. Like, I got to share a court with her 2 times. And she's just a good player. But I love it. I feel like it's gonna give more opportunities for women like me coming up in the next era of college basketball.
And that's the truth. And you like to see it recognized, right? Like, you like to see it recognized. You like to see it acknowledged. That's cool. But the main point is, it's her game. She's got that flair that we hadn't seen before with the handles, pop, pop, with the step back into the 3. This is, she got a training camp mixtape out there. And look, that's what it is. That's what it is. She is a baller, a hooper, a generational figure. And that's why I'm covering her on this show. And I'm going to keep covering her on this show unless the audience lets me know that's not the right move. Because right now the audience is telling me, keep going. And they tell you in the radio business, I've been in so many different radio presentations where you get a program director. There's basically like a couple of things. They really like teases. So like, coming up next, I'll tell you why Caitlin Clark is going to go down as the best athlete in the history of the universe. And then the phone number, whatever. But play the hits is the other thing. And right now, shout out to Kevin Zwicker. Right now, Caitlin Clark is like that. The hit. All right, that's what I had on the topic today. You can bring the comments in. I will continue to respond to those. But yeah, she's got to fix her jump shot. Goodness rated Bo says, I like the NBA, but where are the stars? I lost interest only during the playoffs. Well, I mean, I think that's part of it too. I mean, the playoffs, the NBA were searching for the next face of the NBA. I really think Caitlin Clark can be the next face of basketball. Period. I believe that. Ernesto says, on a date, watching you talking about WNBA, making it look good. There you go, Ernesto. Glad I could be of service. All right. I have to pick up my son from lacrosse at 8:15. So I will going to move through the show a little bit. We can circle back. I got another big show. I can see it in the numbers. In fact, I'm pretty sure we've got the most concurrent viewers the show's ever had on YouTube right now. Pretty sure that's the case. So at some point, I just started covering Caitlin Clark. It's funny because I referenced Matt, the Casino King, and he told me he posted all these things out there, and it was just like he was told what to cover because of what went viral. And I've had so many shorts do really well on every topic. But as far as this show and this channel, this is the topic that people want to hear about. So it's the topic I'm going to give you off the top of the show. It's the topic I'm going to clip out. I think that maybe that Doug Gottlieb section with the jumper and the points I made as a result of that was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. To the NBA, Tyrese Maxey torturing the Knicks last night. I sent out a benign tweet, I thought, last night about how basically the Sixers almost made up for game 2 in that game by winning that game improbably. Because to me, the difference in that series had been up until that point, game 2. Otherwise, Philly would have stole one on the Knicks' home floor. But instead, the Knicks took advantage and were up 2-0. They split in Philly. They have a commanding 3-1 lead. But what Maxey did and what happened with the foul and Robinson and everything at the end almost evened up for game 2. So I sent out a post, I guess you call them now, on X, essentially saying that exactly what I said, that the Knicks will still probably win the series, but it's no longer a certainty. That's it. I think that's fair. And one of the big Knicks fan accounts sent like a eye roll. Knicks Central sent an eye roll, and I didn't really. And somebody else said your Nets colors are showing, and I'm like, what? I think that is. Is there anything wrong with that statement? Now you've got some of the people in Philly buying up tickets. I don't know if you saw that, to try to make sure that the Knicks fans don't take over the arena down there. Here's a post explaining it. But Joe P says the Philadelphia 76ers just announced that the team's owners have teamed up with Michael Rubin to buy more than 2,000 tickets to Game 6 against the Knicks. It's about 10% of the capacity. The tickets will be given for free to first responders, healthcare professionals, community groups, and other local-based Philadelphia organizations. That's awesome. And then I saw people criticizing that, saying like, oh, they're just trying to keep the Knicks fans out. I mean, it's still cool. And look, I think the Knicks win the series. I do. They have 2 chances to win 1 game. They're still in the driver's seat. One of those games is at home. But I wouldn't say they're now in danger, but they put themselves a foot away from danger. Because if the Sixers can win it at home in Game 6, all of a sudden you got a Game 7, all bets are off. And it's not like the Sixers can't win at the Garden. They just did, and they probably should have won Game 2. That's it. Wu says, I bet Robin is excited to talk Knicks today. That's all I got to say. AJ Schreiber says, saw NBA last 2-minute review show they missed travel on Maxey on the 4-point play. Well, then it really evens up for Game 2 because the last 2-minute review said they missed a foul against Maxey that helped the Knicks. It is what it is. Those things even out. I try not to ever blame the refs. Kevin Zwicker says you will always be on the Knicks fan police most wanted list. Well, of course, I know that. Goodness Rated Bo says the Knicks will close out. Most likely. Again, most likely. And then back to the topic at the top, I want to read this comment because I haven't seen this gentleman in here before. Randall Flau'jae Johnson played so well in that Iowa and LSU game because I want to make sure I'm giving the other ladies credit too. Like Caitlin Clark, best player I've ever seen, the reason for all of this. But she's also, and I've had this as a theme, a rising tide lifts all boats. She's also going to help the rest of the game. Help the rest of the game grow. And we should support the other young ladies. Goodness Rated Bows is really commenting today, man. Flau'jae is a baller, amazing body control, which a lot of people lack. I don't want to say a lot of people lack. So that's, where we're at with that. A couple other things on the rundown for today to fly through. The Kendrick thing. I saw this right before the show, real quick. I don't know if you guys saw this from Young Guru, who is Jay-Z's longtime engineer. He put out this post, basically explaining the beginning of the song, where there's a clip in reverse from a movie called The Wiz, where the character is exposed as a fake. And I think what a lot of people are looking for in some of these diss tracks and some of this surface level hip hop analysis is like IG captions or TMZ style lyrics. And I just want to make it clear what Kendrick did was a deconstruction of Drake. He basically put it out there and said, you are fraudulent. Your existence is fraudulent. You are fake. And the entire premise of Euphoria is picking at that. It is meticulous. It is layered. And that's why he sees Drake more, not as a threat, but more like Sexy Red. Every bar is intentional. That is a rapping masterclass. And I really think, having revisited Kendrick's catalog during this battle, to me, if you're telling me who are the three best MCs, Biggie, Jay-Z, or Nas, the three best MCs to me all time now are Jay-Z, Eminem, and Kendrick Lamar. That's how I would have that ranked. A couple other topics to fly through before I get back to your comments. I don't know if you guys saw what Chris Hemsworth had to say, but that was kind of interesting to me. He was talking about Thor and not Thor Ragnarok. What was the Love and Thunder, which was trash. It really was. Of the Marvel movies, the first Thor was okay. The second Thor is one of the worst, but benign. Thor Ragnarok is amazing. And Thor Love and Thunder sucked. And the fall off from Thor Ragnarok to Thor Love and Thunder is something that needs to be studied. And he's right. Hemsworth's right. He became a caricature, a parody of himself and the character. And everything that worked in Ragnarok, leaning into the cheesiness of it, leaning into the comedy, but having a certain flair and style in the action and the story, that it just hit. It was the right combination. And it fell off on Ragnarok. And I saw that Hemsworth is Hemsworth playing Hulk Hogan? But that was the last other thing I had seen today that sort of caught my attention. But it was quick. It went away quick. Hulk Hogan was trending because he had said Roddy Piper had left him a voicemail before he died. And then people thought, that Hogan was lying because people are always trying to point out Hulk Hogan's lies. And apparently it was verified. But, Hulk Hogan just winds up trending for random things all the time. And he has such a fascinating legacy in a sense, because Hulk Hogan is the person the superstar who popularized professional wrestling from a pop culture standpoint. You know, without him, it doesn't blow up the way it does. You know, I would say, I know you're not supposed to talk about, but Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan are probably the two most important figures in making that happen. Of course, Hulk Hogan has his own track record of saying some terrible stuff. Wrestling fans don't always love him because he's not a work rate guy. But he was a monstrous star, both from Hulkamania through the NWO and Hollywood Hulk Hogan. And it's hard to leave him off any wrestling Mount Rushmore. So I'm always interested to see how wrestling fans today think about Hulk Hogan. But that's what I had for the rundown today, guys. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Give me the thumbs up. Give me the shares. Give me the comments. Of course, give me the subscriptions. All those things. The channel is really, really growing right now. It should be monetized and all that real quick. I'm seeing record viewership. This show today is looking like it's going to be the most viewed show in the history of the channel, I believe, from the live stream standpoint. So that's good. You know, that's always, you know, good. So, you know, keep it up and thank you. Thank you to all the newcomers here. It's, you know, it's, for those of you who don't know, this show started with a lot of uncertainty for me professionally. Some trauma for me emotionally, really. And I'm still dealing with that uncertainty. But the returns I've seen, like, are the kind of things that both validate what I knew about myself, but also let me know it's all going to be okay. One way or the other. And you know, to see the growth it's incredible. Like the numbers, we're up like 400%, you know, like crazy leaps and bounds. Crazy leaps and bounds. Not even like before I was looking at, I was like, oh yeah, here we go. We're building up, blah, 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 blah. Now it's like where I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this could be like a thing. This could be something I make money off of, you know, like, and grow my brand off of. Not just, you know, maybe supplementary to start, but, you know, bigger than that. And it's a community too, right? Like that's the coolest part of it. So many more of you guys in the chat all the time. And now like even the Facebook people are over here on YouTube. AJ Schreiber, we wouldn't be here if it weren't for you, Robin. Thanks for bringing us all together. Thank you. Josh B. the Prez, so glad this is growing. Thank you. Goodness Rated Bo, I watch you all the time. Thank you. Thank you. Kevin Zwicker, it's crazy. Oh, by the way, once I get the super chats going, I don't know how I'm going to conduct that because I've thrown all you guys in all these chats. I don't want to make you pay. We'll see. I mean, I guess we're going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So the problems always sort themselves out. Kevin Zwicker says it's crazy how the two most important men in wrestling history are bad guys. Look, it's a rough business. Bad guys are prevalent across Hollywood and history. They've been president. You know, like, they've been presidents. There's a precedent for presidents being bad guys. So, like, it's not surprising really at all to me. AJ Schreiber says, can't wait for a new Slim album this summer. I saw Eminem is dropping this summer. You know, Eminem, I give him credit for, he had a real long period where I just didn't think he was very good and was almost a parody of himself. But he rebounded from that kamikaze project forward. He was always trying to fill in as many syllables as possible. And now he's back to rapping in a way that's more digestible, I think. DS Sai Sahande says, add Future. What am I adding Future to? The best rappers ever? I'm not adding Future to that, my list of that. Michael Martin says, Brunson Hero Ball, the Knicks are in trouble. I mean, that's the only way that they can play. They don't have enough players to not play Brunson Hero Ball. The great benefactor with the thumbs up. And is that a dollar sign coming out of the emoji? I hope so. From your emoji to my bank account. You know, and look, as this grows and, you know, gets back, I've, you know, already connected with some of you guys offline and you're a part of this process. So anybody who'd like to become further a part of the process, let me know. Whether that just means coming on to debate me about something or talk to me about something, or if you have ideas for the show, if you'd want to help out at some point in the future, all these things. But yeah, really cool. Wu says, y'all don't think Kendrick's delivery was kind of weird after? No, I think Kendrick intentionally changes his voices and delivery for effect. I thought it was awesome. I really did. I think it's awesome. I'm going to do a short on it. I play basketball on Wednesday nights, so I don't know when I'll actually get to making that, but I'm going to make it. Because what I found is the shorts on everything I like do really well. And I'm really good at making those because I have a lot of practice. And it's the Caitlin Clark being the driving force of the show and the videos that's worked really well for the channel. And I kind of dig in this format, right? Like where I start with that, and that's kind of the impetus and the launching point and the foundation. And then we spread off and journey into my other interests, and then bring you guys in with the comments. Let me know. Eventually, maybe if we get big enough, I could do separate channels or separate series on the various topics when I get big enough. But as of right now, I'm rocking with this as the format. Everybody, let me know what you think and how you feel about it. AJ Shriver says, "Where can we buy the official Robin Lundberg Show T-shirts?" Who makes T-shirts? Let's get that going too. Let's get merch. We need merch. It's got to be dope though. Like we got to design it right. We got to promote it right. But it really does mean the world to me, guys, that you guys identify with me and support me, and then feel a connection to me. And I feel a connection to you. And I feel like every great show and thing that really blows up starts that way, right? It starts that way. So there's a lot of you who knew me before and have come in as a result of that. But then obviously, judging by the fact that I wasn't really on YouTube before, and I'm on here now, and I've got so many new listeners and viewers, there's a lot of people who are getting to know me now. And obviously, I think they like what they're seeing and they're hearing. And they, I'm sure a ton have come in through Caitlin Clark, right? And then they're staying because I'm looking at the stream now. Like we're off from where we were at the peak of the show, but there's more concurrent viewers right now than I used to have in a show. And so people are sticking around to hear me just talk about your comments in my T-shirts, and Hulk Hogan and Chris Hemsworth and Drake and Kendrick and whatever. So I think one, consistency is important, right? And relatability and authenticity. And I hope you guys realize that this is as authentic as it gets. And I think as a consumer and a listener, that's what people want, right? And that can help build up this community. Michael Martin says, Kevin Z, great job advocating for Drake yesterday. By the way, I want to be fair to, it's part of my nature. And you can justifiably call me a Drake hater, but I'm not going to, not present the other side. And it's more entertaining that way too, right? Like you want to hear people from different perspectives and points of view. And Kevin is basically an unofficial producer on the show now. And sometimes co-host. Wu says, Robin, you're a dope man. We have a lot in common. I think a lot of people in here have a lot in common. There's people from all different backgrounds and who have connected to me in all different ways. But you're all here. You're all here. All right, that's what I had. I got a couple more minutes. So any more comments, you can throw them my way real quick before I got to go bounce and pick up Raj from his practice. He's got basketball followed by lacrosse every Monday and Wednesday. So I slot the show in right between dropping them at one and picking them up from one, dropping them at the other, and then picking them up from the other. Metal Face says you can stop the stream now. Oh, thank you for the permission, Metal Face. I don't know if I've ever seen you here before. Your first comment is you can stop now. Thank you for the permission. But you're probably right. You're probably right. I think everything that needs to be said has been said. As declared by Metal Face. All right, guys. Monday through Thursday, I do these streams. That's been the way it's working. I'm trying to be pretty consistent with this time for now. We'll adjust going forward if we need to, based on, obviously, we're going to have the WNBA season starting and Caitlin Clark. Maybe we'll do some post games or whatever. But Monday through Thursday is the live stream. The shorts are whenever I make them. I'm clipping out clips from this show that you guys can check out. I'll put one up later today or tomorrow morning, but probably later tonight. And if you didn't comment on the live, comment later, like Metal Face over here. And I will get back to you. I try to get back to as many people as possible. Appreciate y'all. Until next time on this same Robin Lundberg channel.